I have mixed emotions because it is the last live of our summit. So grateful for every single one of you that has got yourself a ticket and registered, shown up in the live, shown up in the group, shared your takeaways. So grateful to every single speaker for all the time you invested doing your presentations and then turning up as well this week and sharing about the event with all your people. It has felt very collaborative, and me and Amory just keep going on and on about how the best bit of this summit has been the sense of community and all the people we've met. So wouldn't have happened without you guys. So thank you. I mean, my head is full and my heart is full because there's been a ton of information. So anyone who's joining us for the first time, I'm Sarah, one of the co-hosts of the summit. And so, last live today, we're going to take your questions. You're going to get a chance to hear from these amazing speakers who are all presenting on different topics. Some of them presenting today. Some of them were on other days. So if you didn't get a pass, you can get a pass so you can go back and watch replays from the other days with a VIP pass. So that's always an option. There's a ton of value from these speakers. We're just going to make sure we sign off with some practical steps as well so that you make the most of the summit, because information is one thing, transformation is another. So, you got to turn this into action, I'm afraid. You got to do some hard work after the summit. So that's what we're going to, well, not for me and Anne-Marie, we're going to go to the spa, but, everyone else has got to do hard work. So that's what we want to cover today. So thanks for being with us. So really important note up front, 2 important notes. One of our amazing speakers has been so generous. Sarah wants to give away a one-on-one session with herself. She's going to explain a bit more about that in a second, but you have to be in it to win it. So you have to stick around for the whole live so that we've got your name. You have to come say hi in the live, just give us a wave, say hi, so that we can write your name down and know that you're here. And then we'll do a little, I got my pot. We will pull your name out of a hat at the end. The other important thing just to highlight is that if you have not invested in a platinum pass, the platinum pass has kind of got 3 different components to it. One is all the replays, which is the same as the gold pass, but the extra bits in the platinum pass, one extra section is something that will be available to you forever, which is all the resources from all the speakers who have contributed incredible resources to help you with your branding. But the other element is a bucket of prizes. And that bucket of prizes, we're closing that at 4 p.m. today, EST. So if you want in with a chance to there are 25 books of copies of Reach being given away. There are one-on-one sessions with me, with Josie, all about movement and yoga and having a healthy body so you can have a healthy business. There's $1,000 off coaching certificate. Amory, you've got a year's membership for your stock site. Is that right? So all of those are one-off prizes that are only available to Platinum Pass holders. And you need to get your pass before 4 p.m. today if you want in on that bucket of prizes. Everything else will stay there for you, but that's the bit that's going away today at 4 p.m. So if you want in on that, you have till 4 p.m., which is about 2 hours from now. So there you go. All right, let's jump in, shall we? Anne-Marie, kick us off with, how has this week been? What's a takeaway? What's an aha moment for you from this week?
Besides being, my heart is full, just like you had mentioned as well. I can't believe the generosity and the community that's been built, and I feel connected to each and every one of these speakers, and it's just something really beautiful. So I feel, not like when we're solopreneurs, you feel like you're alone. I no longer feel alone. And I've been in other summits, but by hosting one, I feel like a deeper connection, which is really beautiful. And I've gotten to know, especially the speakers that I was able to interview. And I can see cross collaborations and whatnot going on after this as well. But it really takes those initial get to know, get outside just of DMs or just liking things. You actually have to engage in conversation and set up meetings. And I've overcome a lot of fears this week as well. Like, I don't like showing up live. I don't. And I don't know why. But I mean, those have been some pretty big things that I've had to like overcome. And you know what? It's okay. And it's okay to stumble on your words and show up. And, you don't always have to be perfect, but it's through, and nobody said anything ill about it either. So I don't know. That's my biggest takeaway, is overcoming some fears, meeting some really great people, and like-minded as well. So not so, like very, very similar on moral standards, the way we practice business, the way we interact, like beautiful community. And I'm so grateful for all of you.
Here.
That's my big takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we have some wonderful speakers today, some of whom you haven't met yet. So, Kristen, do you want to introduce yourself and give us a takeaway?
Yeah, hi, I'm Kristen. I spoke yesterday. I'm a brand strategist focusing on helping you figure out how to tell your story in a way that feels true to you and that really connects with your audience, so that you can really be yourself authentically online. And I think, it's funny, Anne-Marie, you used all of the same language that I was thinking about in terms of takeaways for a week like this. And, specifically, I was thinking about the power of community and the power of showing up, and how those are two different things, but they really overlap and they kind of empower the other. You know what I mean? Like, we need to show up and be brave. And do, whether that's showing up in a community and posting and engaging, or putting your own workout online, or whether that is owning the expertise that you have and sharing that with people, but then the power of community to not go it alone. And that I think those things feed into each other in a lot of ways, don't they? And I think we've seen the beauty of that in terms of people kind of coming this week and learning, and all of these speakers sharing their expertise, and the fact that we all get to learn from each other, I think is really, really exciting and liberating, because it does, I think it can, certainly for me, feel like I'm stuck here at my desk and I'm kind of off doing my own little thing and I've got blinders on, and having the opportunity to show up and connect with other people and learn from them, and learn that we're not alone, and also from their experience is really, really powerful. And that makes it easier for us to show up in our own way and in our own communities and to the people that we're serving and helping as well.
Love it.
I hear it. Yeah. I'm
Mariah,
just going to tap in. Let me just, one thing too. I know as we become adults and we move out of college zones, it gets really hard to meet other like-minded people. And this has just been a beautiful way to do that. I just had to throw that out there as well. When you're outside of the school zone, when you don't have kids at home anymore, when you're not in situations to meet people, it's just been a really amazing opportunity to do that. And anyway, it's yeah. Well, we'll move on to Mariah.
Hi, I'm Mariah. I am the founder and creative director of Mariah Riona Branding, and we are a luxury branding agency, specifically for coaches and consultants. Takeaway, I would say, it's been great being part of this group, and really awesome to network with, like you said, like-minded people. I think what's really cool is it's interesting to have all these branding and coaching professionals and see how everybody has a different approach, and how each is equally valuable. And I think it really mirrors the coaching industry too, because I think a lot of my clients, coaches, sometimes they think, oh, this is so saturated. I'm a health coach or I'm a life coach, but people love you for your unique approach. And just like we have all of these amazing speakers and branding professionals, each with a unique approach. And I think that's really cool. It reminds me of being in art school. My degree is in graphic design. And so I went to art school, and I had to take a painting class. I am a terrible painter, but I remember there was a still life in the middle of the room, and there's 30 students with easels all around it. And we're all looking at the exact same problem, the still life, but everybody's painting was totally unique. And I think that really kind of sums up this experience.
That's beautiful.
Love it. That's a great perspective. Sarah, you're next on my thumbnails. And would you tell us a bit about what you're giving away today, as well as your takeaway from the summit?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm Sarah. I am a simplicity coach for mompreneurs, helping them to take back their time, their home, their businesses and themselves, so that they can thrive both at home and at work without feeling like they have to choose between the two. My session was today, and it was all about going from hiding to thriving, and by overcoming your fear of being visible online so that you can show up with confidence and ease. My takeaways, oh man, there's been so many. I absolutely love all of these summits. Speaker sessions have probably been my absolute favorite part of it. But again, there's this real common thread coming through this evening of everybody saying about the community, the connection and everything else. And that is just so super important, especially for hiding behind your PC all day, and especially for an introvert like me as well. And I was saying just before we jumped on about, even if I go out and leave my four walls, I sit in Starbucks with my headphones on and I'm still not connecting with anybody. So to do something like this has been amazing. And for all of the attendees watching all of the sessions and diving in and hanging out in the Facebook group, this is the community where you will find like-minded people. So connect with them, get some biz besties. You don't have to do it alone. And it's, rising by, working together and sisterhood over competition and all of that stuff. And you will find the people in this group and places like this to do that. So that was a huge takeaway for me. And then on a practical level, I've got to say that I absolutely love the workbook that you guys created to go with this as well, because it's been super helpful. I've been using it because I have the VIP pass, but if you haven't got the VIP pass yet and you haven't had a chance to watch all the sessions, go and do it, because that workbook really helps you dig in and come up with the biggest aha moment for every single one of the sessions. But then there is that action step to take as well. So like Sarah was saying in the beginning, of actually looking at what you get from the session and actually then putting it into practice and taking action, and not just doing the passive action of watching the sessions, but get some real absolute something from it on the next step by taking that biggest aha moment and asking yourself how you can action that and implement it. But use it by using the workbook, because then you can go through all of the different sessions and pick out all of your next to-dos over the next 30-60 days, and just imagine where you can be with your businesses by doing that. So I think those are probably the biggest takeaways for me. In terms of the thing I'd like to give away to you guys this evening, it's one of my Coffee to Clarity sessions. It's a 90-minute session with me via Zoom, one-to-one, and we can talk about whatever you are struggling with in your business right now. We can talk about what you've done so far that hasn't worked, what you've tried, what your end goal would like to be with it. And we can look at the roadblocks and the barriers that are standing in your way and help you to come up with a plan of action that you can implement to then take going forward. So we can do that with anything that you're struggling with. We can dive deeper into my session today about hiding to thriving and overcoming a fear of visibility. We can also use it as a goal setter to goal getter session as well, and break down your goals and come up with a 90-day action plan. And coming away from that, you'll have a session with detailed notes and a plan of action to follow based on whatever we talk about. And then in 4 weeks' time is a 15-minute call for us to follow up and check in and see how you're getting on. So yeah, I would absolutely love to give that away tonight to whoever's online, and just come say hi and we can connect.
That is so
That
generous.
is so
Thank
generous.
you, Sarah.
Welcome.
And thank
Look
you
at
about
us.
the workbook. I had a lot of fun making that. And
It's really cool.
I'm really glad it worked.
Josie, do you want to say hi? And I know you've been very diligent. I've seen you posting on Instagram about all the sessions you're watching. Do you want to tell us a takeaway from this week?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who are on the same time zone. It's been really wonderful to follow all of the speakers. So I was a speaker yesterday, day 2. And it's just been wonderful to have so much. So I'm a yoga teacher and a mobility specialist. I was covering more the mindset aspect of this summit. So really, I can potentially be a client, right, for these services. And from that perspective, I would say that everyone's done such a fantastic job at empowering people to really see what it is that you all do. And that feels good. It feels good that we can do a little bit on our own. And really, when we come to you for your expertise, we know exactly how to steer that, or at least communicate what we're having trouble with. So I think that everyone has done such a great job giving people tools to position themselves, and then to say, okay, like I need extra help, and knowing who to communicate with to find that extra help has been really fantastic. So it's been really great. If anyone's feeling overwhelmed, you can check out my session on breath work. It's on the day 2 presentations, and it's really for anyone who wants to find a way to insert breath into their day and maybe go on finding some simple ways to find some mindfulness as they navigate through the content and find the right people to work with. Well, thank you very much.
Angela, would you like to go next?
Unmute myself here. Okay, hello everyone. It's still morning in my time zone. So good morning to those of you on the Pacific Coast. It's been amazing. I think the best thing about this week has been some validation that I indeed know what I'm talking about when just hearing all the other brand experts reiterating the same things I've been telling my clients, because we do live in our little bubble. And it's nice to know that the bubble we're in is still on track. So that's been really great. To just know that there are this many women geniuses out on this planet who are kicking butt and taking names in business. Like it's been a huge uplifting week for me, because usually the beginning of the year, it's how is it March already? But it's just like, here we go, another year, just doing the grind, and just to see all these women just being amazing at what they're doing has been an inspiration to me. So I really appreciate all of you taking your time and doing this, and Emery and Sarah for putting it all together and making it global. Super fun to be a part of. A little bit humbling, but I'm excited about the rest of the year for me, just learning from all of you and knowing we're all on the same track is great. So thank you.
It's been our pleasure to have you.
Kath.
You'll have to please excuse me if you can hear the puppy barking in the background, because she's being very chatty today. So, thank you so much, both of you, for creating such an incredible summit. My main takeaway, I think, from this week has been the vibe and the energy of this group, not just from the speakers, but the participants as well. It is a really special thing that you have created that is such an encouraging space, not just for people learning how to navigate business, but navigating business in the same areas as well. Like similar to what Anne-Marie and Angela were saying, is you can find it being quite a lonely place, or, feeling like people are your competition rather than part of, a sisterhood or, a community of people. And so, I'm just so thrilled and thankful to be part of what you've created, because I've enjoyed that so much this week, and I can't wait to see what comes from it as well. So and so for anyone who doesn't know me as well, my name is Kath Grummett. I am an intuitive brand designer. My session was yesterday, and it was called How to Build a Brand by Being Yourself, and it's all about curating your brand foundations, both the internals and externals of building a brand experience, by staying true to yourself, getting clarity and confidence in being yourself, so that you can help others in that beautiful heart-led way. And George has a lot to say about the subject, so
we like puppies.
Oh yeah.
If it's very sorry.
if it's not puppies jumping into calls, it's kids jumping into calls, or it's someone delivering a parcel, and it happens.
It's life.
We love it. Yeah. And Wendy, it's so great to have you. Do you want to introduce yourself and give us a takeaway from this week?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm so overwhelmed with what everybody said. I'm like, how am I going to say something that's as good as what everybody else just said? So I guess I'll just start by saying, hi, if you don't know me, my name is Wendy Breakstone. My interview with Anne-Marie went live today on day 3. It's all about turning lurkers into legit leads. And I'm a lead generation strategist, I help female entrepreneurs and online coaches who want simpler ways to do lead generation and to make their business easy. And I got to be honest, I have a Facebook group where I have the good fortune to see a lot of summits that are coming and a lot of summits that are going, and be part of some and whatnot. And this one really has felt so elegant to me. And I think that that's a word that I said to Anne Marie the other day when we were chatting about something. And oh my God, is that a Labradoodle or a Golden Doodle? Okay, wait, forget it. I just totally got upstaged by a dog and I'm totally okay with it. What is happening here? Who is this?
She's a schnoodle, so a
schnoodle.
cross. Yeah, this is George, the maker of all of the news, the noise. So yes, we'll try not to let her steal the show.
Well, dang it. Okay, well, that's okay. Like, I mean, I just can't even, like, I couldn't compete and now I really can't compete, but I have a Labradoodle, so I could talk about dogs all day as well as lead generation. And so just to kind of sum up my thinking around like summits, and when I see summits like this, and when I'm asked to participate, which is a huge honor, and I'm not an introvert, and a lot of people here said that they are an introvert. And so events like this help them kind of, find their people. And as an extrovert myself, when I come to events like this, I'm always interested in expanding my bubble and bringing new people into my bubble and finding new speakers for my own events that I'm hosting and whatnot. And so when I see an event like this that feels styled and elegant and refined and has like this, I mean, look at this group of women, like, holy cow, I've been just like amazed all week by, watching the interviews and downloading the resources that are in the VIP pass. Holy cow. Like, I'm just like so honored. And what I want to say just in closing is that dog is just so dang cute. I can't even stand it. That's not what I want to say, but is when you have an opportunity to be a part of an event like this, take it. If you want more visibility, you have to be visible. And I always like to tell my clients, if someone asks you to be a part of their event like this, say yes. And don't put up walls or barriers for yourself to experience things like this, even if you are an introvert. And I just appreciate it so much. And this has truly been just such a wonderful blessing for this time of year and everything. So thank you for letting me be a part of it. I really appreciate it.
It's been such a pleasure, Wendy. And I know we've chatted a few times. I interviewed you and then we did a 15-minute live and stuff. And I feel like you're a new best friend.
Thank you.
You're such an amazing, beautiful human. And I want everyone to know about you because you do truly help facilitate people get onto the path of meeting and you facilitate people to get into summits, and like you're the intersection, and you do a really good job at what you do.
Well, and you guys make it easy when you put together events like this. It's like, heck yeah, we all want to be a part of it. So thank you so much.
And before we dive actually into too much, there is a question from our Facebook group that I think you would be perfect for, Wendy. I would love to build a community, but I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. Is there a viable alternative way to create a community?
Oh my gosh. Well, first and foremost, and I do have a community here on in FB, and it's about speaking and collaboration. And so, but I will say that, like, above anything else, you really should be building your community with your email list. And sometimes pushing out emails can be dull and it's not sexy anymore to build an email list. And but it's so valuable. And sometimes people aren't replying the way that you want, but truly at the end of the day, building that email list is like the number one thing, because then you can take your people anywhere. If today, all these social places go down, there are other platforms to build community. I'm building my community here. And so, but again, I don't quote own my community here. The big blue F
Facebook
owns
does.
my community. Yes. And so it's important to always be thinking, in my opinion, how can I grow my email list? And then the other way that you build community is just by taking part in events like this. And anytime, again, you can raise your hand and be a part of it, you're naturally going to build community and feel aligned with the other speakers and with the hosts and stuff like that, especially for a well-done event like this.
That was,
Yeah, I second
perfect.
that. Email lists. Definitely. Anyone else want to jump in with ideas of how else and where else to build community? It's a great question.
I have a thought actually, and it's maybe to encourage you to ask yourself a little bit more about, when you say community, what does that mean for you, and what are the goals going to be for you? You know, are you looking for broad reach engagement? Are you looking for something that feels small and intimate? Are you looking for something that is going to be an ongoing thing? What is, you know, how much capacity do you have on the administration side for like a larger group community versus something that feels very small and curated? So because there are a lot of different ways, you know, like Wendy mentioned and Sarah mentioned, that you could be like avenues that you could be exploring. Facebook is one avenue. If you don't like Facebook, there are platforms like Circle, you know, that sort of offer that like forum experience. You know, not in Facebook necessarily, but I don't think that's the only way that you necessarily can be building community. You know, like I as somebody who is an introvert and cultivates and curates my kind of emotion.
We're all introverts here.
Yeah, so you know, I really like the sort of smaller spaces. I tend to find like large social platforms a little bit overwhelming, but my mastermind communities are incredibly valuable to me. And I think if you want to position yourself as an authority in your space, hosting something like that, or sort of being a convener of a community like that in a small way, really great way to grow your visibility. So I would say before, yeah, just going back to the original kind of point, think about what your goals are for the community in terms of the vibe that you want to be creating, in terms of how you want to manage and run it on the systems and tech side. And then also in terms of what you want that community to be doing for your business. And then, you know, kind of make your decisions about how and where you do that based on sort of those considerations.
That's a good.
I love it. So often we don't stop to ask ourselves those kind of initial foundational questions of, okay, why am I thinking about community? Oh, it's just because someone else is doing it. Well, let's take a step back and figure out what that looks like and why we're doing it. Sarah, you had some thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's definitely spot on. And like Wendy was saying, of growing your email list, and then actually having the understanding your why right at the beginning, just like Kristen is saying, is what does community mean to you? And what are you wanting to accomplish in your business as well, and putting that all together so that you've got the right focus going forward, but then looking at other ways that you can do it that are outside of places like Facebook and Instagram and all of the others, where, I mean, you know, just inside your own Facebook groups, that you've only got to look that you post something and the reach that it doesn't get, and then that so many people miss out and say, well, I've got my notifications on, but I'm not seeing it, and all of that other stuff. Is like, how else can you actually do it, and how else can you connect with everybody? And email is great because you can get the message across to everybody, and those people are already warm leads, they're already in your community because they want to hear from you. But also, I think another way, mini memberships are a great way to get community together going as well, is by having a mini membership where you just do, it could be weekly, it could be monthly, a bit like group programs, or where you just jump on and you have one network session once a month where all of your community members will email you back with questions that they have, and they could come online and do exactly what we're doing here now as a summit, but it could be like a mini membership where they feel like they're part of a community. Yes, you can have a Facebook group attached to that where they can connect with each other and shoot questions and stuff, but knowing that they've got that community, that they're not on their own, that they're sharing their struggles, and they have that safe space to talk and share because people that are surrounding them get it, can be super, super powerful. And then and the plus side to that is that if it's a mini membership that's a paid membership, you're then gaining income and passive income and recurring income for your business. Because you're not, with Facebook groups, they're free. But if you're doing it as a mini membership, and it can be low ticket, my Cafe Thrive membership is $9 a month, and that's got the masterclasses in it. And I'm considering doing exactly that and adding Q&A sessions to it like I used to have in my other program before I switched it up. But it's a huge, powerful way. And so if you couple that of how you can think outside of the box and do something slightly different that draws people in and makes them feel safe and want to share with you, but also has got that why at the beginning where you've got the understanding of what the long-term goal of it is for you, but how you can do that without having to play with algorithms and all, and be in a space that you have a love-hate relationship is what's easier for you, what's also going to give you a big bang for your buck in terms of revenue and income and connection with your community, but also makes it easier for everybody else that's in your group to actually feel like they're connected with people too.
Amazing. That's such a great idea. I might steal that idea of, I have been thinking of doing, like a monthly, like you can just do it as a Zoom call and just you'll email people know, like it does not have to be complicated.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And you can do the same one. I'm setting up the process right now that I'm going to be launching next week is all of my masterclasses inside Cafe Thrive are pre-recorded, but I'm going to take the next one that I'm doing and I'm going to make it a live paid workshop, and they can come and join on Zoom. We'll go through it, and then when it's done, it will go into the membership. But in the meantime, they get a chance to jump on and they can connect with each other. They can do Q&As, and through the talking and connections with this, just like we were saying about speakers connecting here afterwards as well, is that they can connect with other members of the community that get it like they do as well, and can form the biz bestie friendship relationships. It's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I really love what Sarah is saying as well. And I just wanted to add real quick as well, don't be afraid to try things that are a little bit different as well. I'm through in a couple of membership groups that are on Telegram or Slack or Voxer, and they are just as valuable and just as awesome to be in as Facebook groups and other, Zoom memberships and things like that as well. There isn't a right or wrong of how to do something, but exploring ways that work for you and work for the people that are in there, because not everybody wants to be in Zoom or wants to be on Facebook. And it's also about helping find the right places for you to facilitate that without sort of pigeonholing yourself into a particular platform as well. It's having that joy to explore and have fun with it, isn't it?
thanks, Kath. That's joy to explore. I love it. I've been writing down quotes these last 2 lives from that one's going down, joy to explore. So day 1 and 2, freedom to play. Day 1 and 2 were a lot of the foundational aspects of your brand. It was visuals, words, strategy, the framework, like figuring out your who, like who are you, and your why, and your story, and all that kind of stuff. Today is more about getting out there. So that's a great place to start, the community thing. If we're not comfortable with one area, what do we do about that? Do we have to have a community? What does that look like? Sales. Lots of us have a love-hate relationship with sales. If you have not had a chance to watch it yet, Herazi's session today is fantastic. I had the pleasure of interviewing her. I absolutely love her take on sales. Mariah, I hope I'm kind of picking the right sort of topic, but I know that you talk about sort of high ticket clients and luxury branding and that kind of thing. Can you give us some thoughts, some advice, some mindset help with, what if we're scared of sales? What if we're wondering how to price ourselves, where to pitch ourselves? What if we're nervous about, going for the high ticket clients? Tell us something about sales. Help us out.
Sure. I do have a love-hate relationship with sales, but the longer I've been doing this, I love sales. I still sales calls will still stress me out a little, but I think it's one of my favorite parts of running a business now. I think a big thing is if you are struggling with sales and you're struggling to sell, it's because you don't believe in your offer. And you're not sold on it, and you're never going to sell them on it. So you need to really believe in what you're selling. And sometimes I hear people say, oh, but I'm not my ideal client, I wouldn't buy this, but you still have to believe in the offer and in the value. So I'll just tell a story real quick. In my previous life, I was a hairstylist, and I trained in Paul Mitchell product. And so when I got my second salon job, you get commissions for selling product, and it's not a lot, but we used to like get rewards if you were the top seller. I was always the top seller of Paul Mitchell, even when it wasn't Paul Mitchell month and they're not pushing Paul Mitchell, because I believed in it so much. It just oozed out of me. I was styling their hair and I was like, oh, I'm using this because it's so great at this and blah, 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 blah. I believed in it so much, people wanted it too. Like I totally believed in the product. It's 10 years later, I still only use Paul Mitchell. Like I believed in the product. And so it just sold itself through me. Like you have to believe in your offer that much for it to sell, I think. So that's
I believe in that. I believe in that too. And I come with that knowledge because brand photography is a high ticket and you have to believe in what you're selling in your bundles to make other people go, okay, well, we'll invest in you, like to get them to believe in you and your service. And sometimes I'm not the best at saying it out loud, but I tease my audience with some of the rates online. So it's broken that ice barrier. It's not such a sticker shock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's like they know I'm expensive, but then when it comes to actually talking about the pricing, they've already known the prices. So it's not such a sticker shock. And then, you know, you can go down, you can go up, like you can negotiate from there. And that's made it easier for me to sell as well. Like I do believe in what I'm doing. But yeah, sometimes it's hard to say those big numbers out loud.
Mm-hmm. And that's such a great place to start, Mariah. That really hit home. The do you believe? Are you sold on what you're selling? Whew, like that. I mean, and that's why we've offered so much mindset stuff this week, because I think if we're struggling with an inner critic, with imposter syndrome, feeling of fraud, et cetera, then sales is probably going to be a struggle as well for those reasons. So, Wendy, I know you have a very unique take on one particular technique you use for lead generation. Maybe we'll get to that in a minute. But lead generation, do you want to like maybe define that for us and help us out with like, you know, I've got a business. It's been going for a few years. I've had some success. But it's just kind of, it's up and down. It's trickle. You know, I have a good month, I have a bad 2 months, I have a good 3 months. You know, how do I even that out?
Yeah. And I know that like we all have really powerful ways that we create consistency. And really, it's all about consistency, in my opinion. And consistency doesn't always equate to, quote, constantly. Like people mix up those words a lot. They're two totally different things. And so I think a lot of times people think like, well, I'm posting every day and it's not working. And it's like, because you're tired and you're burnt out and you're not on board, or maybe you're following the pack and you're doing what, you know, your favorite guru told you to do and it works for them, but maybe it doesn't work for you. And so I teach a specific way to do lead gen, which is one of many ways to do lead gen. And I'll give you an example. Knowing today that my interview was going to drop, I knew that I could expect leads today. Okay. So one of the ways that I do lead gen, and I think about it, and this could be a little bit about what you're thinking of, but I think about proactive lead generation versus reactive lead generation. So proactive lead generation looks like creating your own micro audio summit. That's the system that I teach. Creating your own big summit like this. Running ads and really making sure that you're targeting. Whereas reactive is like me being on your summit. That's reactive. I'm piggybacking on your proactive marketing. I'm not in control, right? You could have said, well, we're going to postpone this for a month, and then I'd be out of luck because I wouldn't get leads from it, right? And so I like to think about, how can I be in control of my own destiny, of my own lead generation? The system that I created, I call it the Micro Audio Summit. And it's introverts love it because it takes the video piece out of it, so to speak, and you use audio and it's small. And so that's just one way. But what I really want to focus on is it consistent? is it repeatable? And most of all, is it not going to burn me out, freak me out, or make me feel like a sellout? And that's really the bottom line for me. So when you're looking for your one thing that you want to lean into for getting leads, because no leads, no sales, no money in your wallet, right? So what is that? What's the thing that feels the best to you? That's kind of how I think about it. Does that help, Sarah? Is that what you were hoping?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I've just written down, yeah, I love the proactive, reactive. And are you saying we should have a bit of both in our pipeline? Is that sort of the ideal scenario? Yeah. So we do a bit of piggybacking, we do a bit of, creating our own noise, not noise, but,
right,
our own options. But yeah.
What I like to think about is, so I have this big calendar up on my wall. And the first thing I do every year is I mark when I'm going to do my, product rollouts or flash sales or my own micro audio summits. And that's all my proactive stuff. And then in between there, I get to fill in with reactive stuff. So if you come to me and say, hey, I want you to be in my summit, but it falls during a week where I have a proactive event going on, I'm going to have to say, thank you so much, but I can't, because my proactive strategies always trump everything else that I'm doing. And then you fill in those gaps with doing things like this that are going to bring you leads, they're good for your brand. And then you kind of go from there. So it's a healthy mix. But I always say, like, if you put all of your eggs in the social basket, you're playing algorithm Hunger Games, which is not a good game to play. And if you put all of your eggs in piggybacking on somebody else's events, that's not a way to plan a long-term like marketing growth.
Yeah. Amazing. We just have 10 minutes left, but hey, for those watching live, drop questions in the chat. We've got a few minutes to take them. These are amazing brains here we've got in this room. I mean, we've already heard such incredible takeaways. So get your questions in quickly so we can share some thoughts with you. The other thing we've been talking about a little bit today is tools, tech, systems, processes. I don't like those things. I like just creating things. I don't like, I used to, like in a previous life, I ran a team. I was a shareholder in a marketing agency. I had to get my people organized. I was traveling around Europe once a month. I had to have the spreadsheets and stuff, but I don't know, something changed, maybe when I had kids or maybe going freelance and doing my own thing and now being an entrepreneur. Kristen knows me well. She knows I don't like systems and processes and stuff. But so I think one thing maybe that happens to us is it can feel a bit overwhelming because there are a lot of different tools out there. How do we start? How do we know what we don't, how do we know what we need to start with? Anyone want to, I don't know, Kristen, if you feel like answering, but like there's a lot of tools out there. How do we kick off the whole get myself more organized process? Well, Wendy also has her hand raised, so I can give you a minute. I can give you a minute of thinking time. Wendy.
Yeah, thanks. So in my previous life, I was all about like scaling big, and now I'm all about shrinking your marketing. And one of the things that I've always kind of like, and I'm always trying to, do this for myself as well. And it's definitely a constant work in progress, but how can I keep it as simple as possible? And just because my best friend thinks that like ClickUp is the best, for instance, if that doesn't work for me, if my brain doesn't, work that way, that's not the best tool for me. So whether you like the old school tools where you still pick up a pen and you write it on a paper, if that's what works for you and you get stuff done that way, great. Whatever works for you is the tool that you should use. And sometimes I hear people saying a lot, the tool doesn't work, and the tools usually do work. It's just that it's not working for us. And so I'm a tools nerd. I'm always trying different things. And I just feel like if you can keep it as simple as possible, you're going to win every single time. The other thing that I'm a big stickler about is keeping your naming conventions like fluid and consistent throughout everything. So however you name it in your Dropbox, to your Google Box, to your inbox, to your whatever, always have your naming conventions consistent, and that's the best system I believe you can put into place, period.
Mariah.
Did you look at my desktop, Wendy? Like, is that why you know that I don't do that?
Do you feel like I'm talking to you? Do you feel
I
like
feel slightly called out? Yeah. It's okay. I'll get over it.
I see you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Mariah, tell us your thoughts.
So I was just gonna say, like, I feel like sometimes we get stuck because there's this idea that we need to pick the right tool. And there are so many options. And I find myself doing this too, like where you don't move forward because you're like, well, there's this one or this one or this one, and you don't choose, so you're not moving forward. And I think it's this false idea that there's a right tool. And I think you just have to dive in and start working with something. I guarantee, like 10 years from now, whatever email service provider you're on, you most likely will not be on in 10 years, hopefully, because you've grown past that. So like, just pick something and move forward. And then when you have outgrown that, or like you were saying, if you find out it's not the right tool, you find something else. And it's not like, it's just part of the process. There's going to be some time lost in the figuring it out, I think.
I know for myself too, when I'm trying to figure something out, or you're got a new thing you're introducing, I don't actually go looking for new tech until I actually need it. Like I'm having this problem, how do I solve it? I don't go looking for every single new thing that comes out, or like, Airtable came out. I have not touched it because I don't have a need for it. So I don't dive into things until I have a need for it in my system. And yeah, so simple sometimes is better for me, or that's what works for me. And then I know where everything is. And I agree with Wendy, naming conventions are huge, especially to photographers, because we got lots.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We just have a few more minutes together. I know it's sad. And I've got some names here. I have Andrea, Michelle, Nicole, Gloria, Eileen. Are we missing anyone? So if I did not say your name, then come say hi in the chat so we can see your name pop up. I have Eileen, Gloria, Nicole, Andrea, and Michelle. Am I missing anyone? But anyway, if you didn't hear your name, say hi in the chat. And then let's round this out with, because I had a great chat with Brian Dixon. You just mentioned in our little Zoom chat here, Wendy, AI. I had a great chat with Brian Dixon. Oh, have Laura as well. Hi, Laura. With Brian Dixon about AI, about Chat GPT. So there's a new tool you can go and explore if you haven't already. Slightly mind-blowing, I have to confess, especially if you're a parent of a teenager and you know that they could use this tool to write their essays, but we won't talk about that. But Wendy, do you have any, or anyone, like, I think I was nervous and hesitant about AI tools because I thought that must be the opposite of authenticity, and authenticity is such a high value for me. But there's also efficiency. And if we want to grow and scale, even if we don't want to grow and scale, but we just want some more time back for ourselves, or we want more time to do the hard head work and less time doing, some of the more administrative parts of our job, I can see how AI is such an incredible tool. So anyone want to jump in with thoughts about AI, how we can best use that? Kath.
Hey, yeah, actually, I love this question, and I was having a really long chat with a friend about this the other day, and it just comes back to really understanding who you are, what your values are, what you stand for, and AI is a tool the same as anything else. And a lot of the time it comes back to you making sure that you're delegating something rather than abdicating the responsibility of doing that tool for your business, and being able to be strong and clear about what you stand for and how things are, how you want things being done for your business, allows you to pull things apart and put it back together and make sure that you are checking over those things and putting things in place to make sure that it's the best reflection of you. And that's one of the things that AI can do really, really well once it understands what you're asking it to do. Whereas a lot of the time we kind of give it to them expecting it to give us the exact results, and then it perhaps doesn't come out the way that we expect it to, which is also the same that experiences that we have with working with other business owners, freelancers, you know, bringing employees into our business and things as well. And so actually it's about having that true clarity of who we are, what we stand for, and how we help people, and using that as a platform to move forward from, and using them as tools rather than things that are going to fix our business or, you know, revolutionize something. It's that delegation versus the abdication thing for me.
Love that phrase. Kristen, do you want to round us out with some thoughts?
Yeah, I think, you know, maybe just to riff off of what Kath was saying a little bit, I think it's also about understanding for yourself, what is the role that AI plays in your process specifically? You know, especially we've spent all week talking about brand, and my first thought is, you know, abdicating your brand voice and abdicating, you know, the way that you talk to your people that feels and sounds, and you know, like you know, using AI, and I'm thinking about it specifically in like the copywriting kind of content creation context here. Using AI can be a really great way to sort of backfill maybe some of that first, maybe you're using that for content idea generation, maybe you're using that to, you know, pull together some initial, like whatever the role in the process that it is for you, understanding how am I using AI to sort of accomplish this particular job. And then like Kath was saying, but yet also understanding within my entire content strategy or my brand, whatever that looks like, how am I making sure that my goals for my brand and the way that I want to communicate with my audience are being reinforced, and that I'm using this to emphasize that and not to detract from that, and to make sure that you're sort of putting those parameters around something that could otherwise really kind of, you know, be as big or small as you want it to be. So really understanding what is the job that I'm giving AI here, and how am I making sure that I'm putting some constraints around this to make sure that it's going to do that job and not kind of step outside that role, because it's such a new technology. It would be really easy to let it do that.
That is great. I love seeing that as, I love the abdicate. Am I delegating or abdicating? And then I love how, yeah, you give us a picture of that, like it has a place in a process. It's not the whole thing. Wendy, we will just wrap up with a comment from you, and then we're gonna pick a winner.
Yeah, thanks. And I know we could all talk about this forever because it's such a fascinating topic and it's so big, but here's kind of where I've been like trying to tell people is that just start trying it, because what happened is it was obscure in December. It was out of reach in December, and now it's become almost mainstream overnight. And right now we're at a very distinct advantage to be early adopters. But in a year from now, if you don't get on it, you will be at a distinct disadvantage. And I said in a thing the other day, I heard somebody say this, AI won't take your job. Somebody using AI will take your job if you don't. And so it's very important, just as using the internet is important or having a mobile phone is important, to get on the AI. I totally believe that. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Yes, we could talk for all afternoon. I just, you know, just to reiterate what we said at the beginning, genuinely have loved meeting everybody. And I really hope this is just the beginning. Stay in touch. Who's in the Facebook group? Stay in touch about branding. Do you want to do the honors, or I've got a pot here? Do you want me to do it?
Sure. Or you do it. I just,
all right. Yeah. I will do it. Do we have any housekeeping while I just fold these up? I don't know. Oh, what about the VIP cart open till next Friday?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to tell people about that?
We have been having so much fun and had so much great response. I mean, and clearly the free live dailies are going to be gone as of 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, but we're leaving the cart open for anyone who wants to pick up a VIP pass, so they can have ongoing access and still take advantage of all of your gifts, your generosity with the premium bonuses and whatnot. So Yeah, so the cart's open, and if you guys feel like letting your people know that as well, that they still have a chance to watch and listen and dive in, there's still time. Yeah, there's another week to go. So we're excited.
We'll close it on St. Patrick's Day. That's what we'll do. Yeah, just in time to go to the pub. All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to pick someone to have a coffee to clarity session. My name's not in here, Sarah, which is really unfair. I'm going to pick someone to win a coffee to clarity session with Sarah. Here we go. So, Laura, you are the winner. Whoop, whoop. So, Sarah, do you want Laura to DM you? Is that the best way to go
Yeah,
forward?
absolutely. Send me a DM
Alrighty.
and yeah, track me down that way. Either on Facebook or through Instagram at A Simple and Contented Life, and we can get it set up. And I can't wait. Awesome.
Amazing.
Yay.
That's so exciting. Wow, I can't believe we have to say goodbye.
Yeah,
Well,
I got another meeting.
for now. I know you've got to jump off. You've got a meeting. This has been absolutely fabulous, ladies. Thank you so much for giving all your time this week and in previous few weeks as well, with promoting and sharing with your network. It's been an honor to be here with you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.